And we're back here on the show, and I have a new co-host all of a sudden. Mary's joining me here on the show. There she is, saying hi. Mary, great to have you on the show.
Thank you so much. Glad to be here.
Well, I
think it's about this lady over here.
Yeah, this is, of course, Alexi Bracey joining us. But I think it's really good that you're here now with Alexi, because I know you're in the healing field, and Alexi has done a little bit of healing herself. And today we're talking about cancer. Well, I'm saying the word strategies, Alexi. I'm not sure if that's the word you would use, but what are you going to give people today?
Well, most people are really, number one, they're confused because they think chemo or radiation is the only answer. And there are a lot of safe, non-invasive, effective therapies, modalities, if you want to call it that have been shown to be effective in preventing and or minimizing and or eliminating cancer.
Yeah, I know about some of these things because I've had a lot of people on the show, right? And we've all heard stories about people that, miraculously cured from cancer or conquered cancer, or they were given a death sentence, but now they're fine. So how does that happen?
Well, a lot of it is your mind, your mental attitude. Number one, the doctors are not God. So how can they say that, you have 2 months or 3 months or 6 months? And if you really believe you can overcome it, you can overcome it. It's mind over matter. I mean, the mind is so powerful. It's just totally unbelievable. But there are things that you can do. Like, so you just don't believe you're going to conquer cancer. You do take steps to eliminate, minimize, remove, whatever word you want to use.
Okay, we're going to be talking about some of those steps today, but one of the things that gets me sometimes, and by the way, you just say anything you want.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because just because I'm talking doesn't mean you don't.
There's such relevant information here. I don't want to interrupt, actually.
I know, but now I forgot what I was going to say. I was going to say that that people often, I'm surprised when people go to the doctor and they'll just do whatever the doctor says. Oh, the doctor told me I had to take these pills. Oh, the doctor says I got this and that, right?
That's right.
I think people have to take responsibility for their own health.
Well, people want a quick, easy fix, and they think that their doctor is God.
Yeah.
And if he says that's the way it is, then that's the way it is. Not many people take the initiative to do their own research and really, what other alternatives are out there.
Yeah, and today, doing your own research is so easy. There's so much information out there. It's a Google search away from finding answers to whatever problem you might be having, including the worst health news that you might possibly get.
But the thing is, the doctors instill fear into a person. Like, you have to have your surgery right away, your chemo right away, like, we're going to book it next week.
Yeah.
The cancer's been in your... Like, we all have cancer cells in our body.
Yeah.
But, the cancer didn't start proliferating, and it's been there 5, 6, maybe 10 years before it manifests outwardly. So what's another 2-3 months going to do in terms of trying something alternative or holistic or non-invasive?
Yeah.
Because cancer is a poison, and chemo and radiation is a poison, so you don't cure a poison with another poison. I mean, that's not...
And what we were just talking about, that movie that's out now, what is it called? Cut, Poison, Burn or something, which is like the medical establishment's best approach to dealing with cancer, right?
Right.
I think touching on the fear around it, too, because as soon as somebody hears that diagnosis, they're willing to do anything. Like, your life flashes before your eyes.
That's
if you have children, family, it's like, whatever it takes, I'm willing to do it.
That's right.
Unfortunately, they often end up in worse condition when they go through the program. And then, obviously, there's people that have come completely back to normal health.
And then especially, too, if you have a family history of, say, breast cancer or uterine cancer, you are so scared, you think, I gotta take it out, like, But, if the environment is conducive for cancer, you're going to get it, whether it's a genetic thing or not. So change the environment, change the circumstances around it.
Now, that's what you did, right?
Yes,
Alexi?
I did. Yeah.
Do you want to just briefly tell your story?
I was diagnosed 16 years ago now with uterine cancer, and I was living on the West Coast, and I was not prepared to do anything invasive. And so I just spent hours at chapters and libraries and had no idea that cancer and diet were so heavily linked. And the raw food movement had just started in Vancouver, so I really embraced that. And after doing research for like 3 months, I literally overnight did a 360. I went raw, organic, juicing, got rid of all the toxic toiletries, household chemicals, did visualizations, worked on my emotional wounds, so to speak.
Wow.
And a year later, I was cancer-free. It may have been sooner, but to be perfectly honest, I was very nervous to be tested again,
Right.
because I was still going to continue doing what I was doing. I was so adamant and so comfortable and positive that I knew I was going to beat it. So nothing invasive, no
Yeah.
drugs, no meds, like nothing. I never went back to see the family doctor.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's an amazing story.
No kidding.
Right? So let's talk about some of these things that people can do that maybe they're not aware of, that, that might just get them out of this horrible diagnosis.
Well, the first thing is to change the environment where cancer thrives. And cancer thrives in an environment where you consume a lot of sugar and carbohydrates that convert to sugar. So get rid of all the sugary beverages, your processed foods, your dairy, your pork, your pickles, your pasteurized foods with the heavy sugar content. Prepare your own food. Like, forget buying frozen entrees. Focus on the fruits and vegetables.
Because all that stuff's got chemicals and stuff
That's
in
right,
it.
and hopefully mostly organic.
Right. Okay. And you
this
went...
is good prevention too. Sorry, I just
go.
Well, it's prevention
people
too.
need to learn this.
That's right.
Because
I
of
know.
the preventative portion of it. Why wait for the diagnosis? Start
That's
doing
right.
these
Exactly.
little changes in your life.
Exactly.
Sorry.
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say. I'm just making all this stuff up.
Yeah.
You know exactly what
So
to say.
that's one thing. So eat fresh, obviously. Prepare your own food. Don't eat prepared foods or processed foods.
Right.
Okay, great
But
start.
then also, chemo and radiation don't kill the stem cells. So there are certain foods that are more appropriate that do kill stem cells. So you've got your blueberries that are high in antioxidants. You've got your ginger. You've got your green tea. You've got your turmeric. You've got your garlic. You've got your onions. There some of the herbs. There are foods that will kill stem cells. Turmeric is an excellent herb to take as a cancer preventative, but most people don't know that you have to take it with pepper. That way you will ingest it more readily, because otherwise you're only getting bare minimum of the benefits.
Yeah, we're hearing about these miracle herbs that have these amazing health.
I mean, they've been around
properties.
for millions.
Since the dawn of
Well, yeah.
Since dawn, you know.
And they've been cooking like that in India for
That's right.
forever. But
That's
in
right.
Britain, all they had was salt and pepper.
Well,
it's highly
well, and it-
anti-inflammatory turmeric too. Like
That's
it's great
right.
for people with arthritis, and inflammation can also lead to a bunch of different diseases. So
that's
so
right.
simple. The
I
simple
know.
little things that we can incorporate into our lives that make a big
Very
difference.
true.
What about sausage?
I can't believe you
If it's
said that.
organic,
Definitely not pork, because pork has parasites, and no matter what kind of heat you apply to pork, you will not kill the parasites.
Really?
Really. No pork ever, ever, ever.
So that,
And vegetarian is preferred
yeah.
because our meats are grown on, GMO corn and products that are not healthy for us.
Yeah.
If you insist on being a meat eater, definitely grass-fed, and wild game is your better option.
And think about it. It's like where people go, oh, why are cancer rates so high and increasing, right? But the food we're eating now, the steak we buy at the supermarket today is not the same steak that we were buying 50 years ago,
That's right.
right? It's just
that's
more
the
chemicals, more, you talk GMO feed, all that stuff wasn't around then.
That's right.
Even vegetables, that's the argument for vegetables to buy organic, because the lack of nutrients, all the nutrients is leached out in the soil, it's gone, and they say 12 green peppers now to 1 in the 70s to get the same nutrients. That's staggering. Who wants to eat 12 green peppers?
I know.
I like green peppers, but not that much. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly what I'm saying. I don't want to eat 12 of them in one sitting to get the nutrients.
I need more green peppers.
We'll get some later.
Okay, so what else, Alexi?
Coffee enemas. The Gerson Institute in Mexico, Max Gerson actually started that. And coffee, they have shown, helps remove toxins from the body because it stimulates glutathione. So it's great for your liver, it's great for your internal organs, it's great for parasites, for candida, and for anybody with cancer is an absolute must.
So you mentioned glutathione there. Like, what about these glutathione precursors that you can get now? Have you heard about those?
Well, I'm not negating them, but I'm saying that it's more powerful.
Listen, I'm not saying no coffee enemas.
Okay.
You
The
know,
enema does the damage control, right? You've already got the heavy metals, you've already got the toxins. It's a quick way to flush them out. And
That's
keep
right.
them
And you
out of
feel
your
better.
system.
You really feel better whether you have cancer or not.
we should be doing coffee enemas around the office here.
Well, we gotta make enough coffee.
Well, we got enough coffee, right? Sometimes
We should probably be using organic. If we're gonna do
Absolutely.
it.
I never
Organic.
want to see any more coffee thrown out. You know what I'm saying?
Well, we go through so much coffee, we could probably start a service here. Have a
Let's
little
start a
room.
service. Might have to get some new plumbing, but Mike can do the job.
That's true.
Okay, coffee enemas, yes. Glutathione. See, I'm big on the glutathione. I just want some support on that.
Yeah, it helps detoxify. Coffee enemas are great. It doesn't matter whether you're 6 or 16 or 60.
Now, would you take glutathione supplements? Would you do that?
I prefer the coffee enemas.
Okay, all right.
But
Now,
but I do agree that glutathione is very important.
so how does the coffee enemas give you glutathione?
It stimulates it in your liver. Your liver stimulates it
By getting
by doing the enema.
you have to have it in enema form. You can't just get it from drinking coffee.
No, I'm afraid not.
So you've got to go with the
I've never had an enema myself, but I do know people that have had very amazing results. It's just
Yeah.
such a quick way. You know, I don't know if you've ever known anyone that's gone to the hospital. They do that test, and they give you something at the hospital, and even just from that medication, they feel so much more clear-headed.
What
right.
medication?
There's a medication that makes you go to the washroom so that they can do a colonoscopy.
Oh, I know
But
what that
they
is.
say that the cleansing of your intestinal
Because
system
because
like that,
when we eliminate, we still
a
have
difference.
food particles caked to the inside of your intestinal
right.
tract, and they're not eliminated through your regular bowel movements. Nor if you took Metamucil or a laxative, they're still caked on.
So you need the coffee enemas.
Well, the coffee enema is more for your liver, but it does remove the toxins from your intestinal tract.
It does, which is what you need, right? All
That's
that
right.
stuff that's caked on.
Because your liver is what handles all the toxins in your body,
Yeah.
and synthetic ones are really hard to eliminate.
Right.
and our livers are working overtime.
Oh,
with
absolutely.
The environment, with what we're eating. So, in the medicine that I practice, I often detox livers. That's where I start. Or I can see how someone's
Yeah.
stressed out by that.
Yeah.
Okay, coffee enemas. What else?
Wheatgrass.
Wheatgrass.
Wheatgrass and Wigmore started, she cured herself actually. She was going to die. And so hence she started the Hippocrates Wellness Center years ago. And wheatgrass is living light energy. It's the first energy that is in any living being, and it comes from the sunlight. And that green energy is so healing. And you can take it as suppositories, or you can take it, ingest it in liquid form, preferably liquid form rather than powdered form. So it's good for a host of other illnesses, good for your sore throat, good for rashes, it's good for candida, for parasites, but it's excellent as a preventative, and anybody that has cancer should definitely take it on a regular basis.
Yeah, you hear a lot of people just saying how good wheatgrass is. And in fact, we had...
You can grow it on your windowsill. It's
That's right.
super inexpensive.
We
And if
should
you
grow some here.
juice- Well, we've got a juicer. Then
Yeah, let's juice some wheatgrass. Do you do that every day? Mm-hmm. How much do you have a day? of
2
wheatgrass?
ounces. 2 ounces.
2 ounces.
Wow.
2 ounces.
Do you juice
yeah.
it yourself?
Yeah.
Wow.
I used to grow it myself, but I didn't have much success growing it as well as thick as I can get it commercially made.
Yeah.
But then I used to leave my trays on the floor in this big window where there was a lot of sunlight. And I remember getting up one morning, and it was I used to have my trays all on a row, and one of the trays was sort of moved over, and I sort of turned the light on, and half of it had been eaten. My dogs decided to eat it, but they threw it up because they can't digest it.
They were said they were super healthy.
Yeah, that's right. So,
well, that's what dogs do. You see them eating the grass sometimes.
if their stomach is upset, yeah,
and then they
get
rid
then
of
they
it.
throw it out. Yeah.
You know what I
So,
mean? Okay, wheatgrass. Okay, sounds great. What else?
frankincense oil.
Frankincense oil. What do you do with that?
An essential oil. Well, the best way is to diffuse it.
Oh,
I know of
okay.
somebody that their father had I believe prostate cancer, and they were in the hospital. Fortunately, had a private room, so the daughter instructed the nurse to keep on refilling the diffuser 24/7, and within 3 days, his cancer was gone.
What?
Then
amazing.
there are also, if you have brain cancer,
Yeah.
outside of surgery, if you take the frankincense oil and apply it to the roof of your mouth, it will cross the blood-brain barrier, and the cancer will get be absorbed that way. And
Now-
there has been success with that as well.
So would that even work for you? Because we hear these horror stories with all the cell phones and that, and people getting brain tumors as a result of cell phone use.
Well, don't wait.
Not officially, of
don't wait
course.
till you have the tumor. Take protective measures against the Wi-Fi on your cell phone.
So put some frankincense on the roof of your mouth?
No,
No,
there
put it in a
are devices you can attach to your cell phone.
I know.
And turn off your Wi-Fi at home. Actually, you shouldn't even have wireless at home. It should all be grounded.
That's what I keep saying, but
You have
then
to be
it's-
a little careful with the essential oils too. I'm from out west too.
Yeah.
And so people get pretty carried away, and some of them can actually, they're too strong. So
That's
when
right.
people take them, they should take them very carefully and minimally.
And then make sure you get food grade
Totally.
essential oils, because there are synthetic ones on the market that just tax the liver and don't really deliver the results.
So where do we get this frankincense oil?
Most of the better companies, you can only get it online.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
You had a guest here, Young Living.
Young Living,
Oh.
exactly.
They're one.
Yeah, they are
Really?
by
Food
far,
grade.
they're food grade
Yeah.
and by far the best.
So that's good stuff.
Yeah.
So you diffuse it.
Yep.
Is there any other essential oils you can diffuse that have similar healthy effects?
Well, actually, Thieves is really good because it's antiviral, antimicrobial, antiparasitic, and so that would be really good to purify the air in your home. So that you should do that on a weekly basis.
Okay.
And it's actually the only the only product that has been shown to be scientifically 100% effective against mold.
Wow.
So don't try bleach because it's toxic on you, and it doesn't work.
You're talking about like mold in the house?
Yes.
So if you do thieves oil in the house?
Well, you can get Thieves cleaner,
Yeah.
and wash the area very well. There's
So that's what you used to get rid of if you got black mold or anything like that?
that is, yeah. But not just go in there and do it. You have to protect yourself too, because the spores are very toxic.
They are?
Oh,
You
absolutely.
don't want to breathe them in.
Yeah.
Once you start
Suzanne
stirring them up.
Summers' husband developed mold problems when they moved into a new home in California as a result of the water the slides, the mudslides. And for 3 years they loved the home, and then he started not feeling very well, and they couldn't figure out what it was, and she finally figured it out, and they found the mold in the house. And so he's a lot better today, but he's still not 100%.
So that's a whole different topic, but
Right.
It is a
that's-
topic.
you should
for
come
sure.
back
It's a
and
big
talk
one.
about
Yeah,
that
maybe I will.
sometime.
It's another
It can
big
cause
problem.
mimic mental illness as well, like people that have been in mold conditions, all of a sudden so it's a very serious.
And something to consider too for people that have children in daycare centers in the basement.
Totally.
Just
Yeah.
Behavioral problems it can cause
That's
in
right.
children, and it's just mold.
and
all
it, could,
these
and, it, and it
simple
could be
things that we
radon
can
too.
do
I
for
mean,
our
there's
protection.
a whole bunch of other. I think I'll have to come
Sure.
back 10 times.
Yeah, I think you probably should bring some pie, though. Lemon. Okay, so anything else?
Let me think here.
I mean, I got one while you're thinking. You know, I mentioned
Oh,
it.
well, they say that the Budwig diet works, which is flax seeds and cottage cheese. And it was developed by, I can't remember now, somebody that did a lot of research, and it supposedly is very effective.
And how do you?
Well, you just take, mix flax seeds with cottage cheese and eat it every day.
And what do you call that diet, though?
Budwig. It was named after the woman that invented it.
Budwig.
Budwig.
Okay.
And also, Essiac tea is a must.
Yeah. My friend's dog had cancer, and he gave him Essiac tea.
Wow.
A nurse, and actually Essiac is spelled Casey
it's
backwards,
Case.
and it was the nurse Casey that invented it.
From Ontario.
From Ontario.
Renee Case.
That's right. I used to take it too when I had my cancer.
You know, her grandson was in the studio one day. He was a drummer in a band.
Oh, is that
He
right?
was telling us all about all that stuff.
Yeah, so there's a lot of things out there that are natural and, aren't going to cost an arm and a leg.
Should I tell about the one that I told you about?
Yeah, go ahead.
Have you heard about that one?
Yes, I have.
It's the baking soda and maple syrup one.
That's right.
And you can look it up on Google, right?
That's
and
right.
It'll tell you
This physician from Italy
yeah.
put it together.
And you just mix it up. The baking soda. Do you know what this is? The baking soda.
Yeah.
I put my dad on it, right? After they had discovered that he had, they found cancer cells in his bladder, I think. And I said, before he went to the next doctor, right? Like the surgeon, I said, no, just start taking this. And he did it reluctantly. And then for 3 years,
It was fun.
they couldn't. I don't understand why we can't find more cancer.
Yeah, but I do want to stress, too, that even though these areas that I've sort of touched on have been shown to be effective, you still have to take other steps. And that's what I teach, is to remove environmental toxins
Yeah.
and also look at your emotional wounds. Because the
Crucial
science
to
has,
it.
they have done studies, 96% of the people who had cancer, when they forgave, it could be your grade 3 school teacher, it could be your brother, it could be your significant other. Cancer was eliminated.
There was a guest on the Liquid Lunch.
Yeah, the
a
German New
doctor,
Medicine.
Yeah,
That one?
and
Oh.
they can, from a CAT scan, they find the trauma. These are cancer patients too, and they find the trauma on the CAT scan where it is in the brain, and they can tell you, exactly what you just said. You have to heal that grade 3 trauma
Yeah.
to promote the healing of the cancer.
Yeah. So it's
very related.
it's a three-step process, so to speak. Sort of the nutritional component of it, which this has been sort of, and then there's the emotional, and then the environmental, and you have to address all of them, whether it's cancer or preventative.
Totally.
It doesn't matter.
And you're speaking from experience.
You got that one right.
Yeah.
Yes.
And, okay, Alexi, is there anything else? We're going to give out your contact info and stuff like that.
It's just cancerismyfriend.com, and you can visit me at cancerismyfriend.com on Facebook as well.
Okay. And do you have, do you have recipes, information, all that kind of stuff?
Yeah,
on
actually,
there?
my website will have some recipes in the next week or so, because I'm just putting 3 videos up online
Nice.
Okay.
talking about the environment, the emotional, and my daily routine, actually, because everybody always says, what do you do every day? What's your day like?
Yeah.
Oh, if I could add one more thing, sprouts. Everybody should have sprouts.
Totally.
We got a sprouter thing here.
All you need is a mason jar. Like,
We
it's
got
so
a
easy.
special thing, a special sprouter.
Okay, special. So, do you have sprouts every day?
Not every day, no.
Neither
In fact,
do I.
hardly ever. Like I did, okay, let's make sprouts, so I made
If
the sprouts.
they're around, I eat them.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But you got to do stuff to make them, right?
Water in a glass.
Are they all good, though? The mung beans? Are
Mung
those good?
beans, alfalfa, broccoli, red
You
clover.
just munch on them. You don't
That's
need
right.
to put them in anything fancy.
No.
Yeah.
We should all have sprout things on our
Let's
desks.
make sprouts. I
You
got
know,
a
in the middle of
sprout
the day, you
thing.
need a little energy. That's better than
Yeah.
going for the Snickers.
I got a
That's
sprout
right.
thing over here. Let's make sprouts. We're
You
going to make
have
sprouts.
some amazing guests on your Liquid Lunch, I have to say. You're saving the planet,
Well,
helping people's health, and
yeah.
it's a big deal.
Well, it's not me. It's Alexi. And people
Well,
like Alexi that are
You're
doing it.
creating the hub,
Well,
and these amazing people obviously turn up because of you, too.
well. Anyways.
Or that channel.
I'm just just glad you came in today, Alexi.
My pleasure.
And told us all this great stuff. So, of course, people out there can go to your cancerismyfriend.com, get some more info, get in touch maybe.
Absolutely.
And if they need some personal advice, you can help them out.
I'd be happy.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alexi. And thank you, Mary, for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
It's a super long, late liquid lunch. We're going to go get some sushi now and take a walk, right, in the snow. And sushi's raw food, isn't it, Alexi?
Except fish is the most toxic flesh protein on the planet.
I know.
Sorry
But it's from the
sorry to-
Pacific Ocean, so.
Oh, that's even worse.
What about if we have
Fukushima.
like the avocado version in the...
Okay, all right.
That's allowed.
I know.
Right. Make sure your seaweed's not
What about,
toasted.
I was just going to say, what about the seaweed now?
Make sure it's not toasted.
Okay,
I
that's a
love the
whole other
toast.
show.
That's
okay?
right.
We'll do
That's
a
right.
whole show on that. Okay, thanks, everybody. That's it for Liquid Lunch today. We'll see you next time right here at thatchannel.com.